I saw it yesterday, and I'm not all for the government over giving away money for
Rescue America plan.
Rescue
I assume
America plan.
that's
I came out and I looked up our
Hinkle.
county with this new bill that just passed today. And I don't believe it.
Oh, more money.
The Granite County gets $661,000.
what?
Is it discretionary?
I think everybody I don't know. What could they help to spend it on? I mean, $261,000.
Yeah, here's discretionary.
It seems to be in the wheelhouse of health. Seems to be health-related money.
I assume we're, I don't know if we're on 5 still or 6.
So,
And I understand.
so I was just thinking.
Yeah, and I understand.
I don't know if it's true or not.
I understand you're making a good point here, that you've got to on this, and it's not like we'll set up on, we'll use the rainy day fund to set up. And then, but you have to budget for this in perpetuity, you have to go way out, and I understand that's not, but I think it's, we're looking years away for with respect to participating in the process. I'd like to take the opportunity, go ahead, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
I took a D course. Organs. I had Jason just how to handle taking calls.
See, this is all on Reed,
Of supply
his whatever.
Why was there?
And he's the only one that has his camera on everybody.
A position on ambulance
And
service.
his mic.
That's what was you.
Well, his mic isn't picking up everybody.
While I was there, I handled supplies. I cut down on the visit my family. I get a phone call, say, "Hey, go check up on."
I hear somebody
tanks.
else
I
talking.
go up there, check oxygen tanks and stuff like that, and check supplies for them. I wasn't even here as a part of it.
This is too much, too much.
That for me was a full-time thing. After high school got
Now
my
we're down to
supplies,
5 people.
Wayne can attest this. I spent multiple times throughout the week just up there going through the supplies, making sure we had current supplies, order supplies we needed, making sure the trucks were ready to go for calls. Out for me
Beth
was
dropped out.
big, and then that wasn't even handling paperwork or anything like that. Or the training, coordinating, that stuff. I was just simply in charge of the supplies. Since then, my EMS kicked off up there. I worked for Eagle Ambulance Service. We did long distance transports for them. I got on with Laurel Ambulance Service, which kind of gave me the idea of this potential because they had a director that they had somebody in the office you can get a hold of and say, "Hey, I'm looking to volunteer. What do you have?" They had somebody there that
I didn't
said,
hear it.
let them know that there was classes going on and when those classes were going. And they had somebody to get a hold of. I've gotten a hold of Patrick a few times, and he's kind of felt that this is the way that this needs to go. I am in finishing up my fire science degree. Through that, I've had leadership and ethics training, incident command training. I have had training on lead departments and stuff like that.
She fallen asleep. This is the newspaper.
I want to make it happen. I have plans as far as the emergency services in Granite County because I want to be back and be a part of this community. I was telling Mr. Red today, Philipsburg, ambulance service. I like the small town. That's what drives me is being a part of that kind of service. I like rural ambulance service.
This is just thrilling.
Involved in somebody that's the face of that service that represents it and it goes out to the community and says, "This is what needs to be. We take care of you guys. We can provide you guys first aid, CPR. We can provide you guys stop the bleed training. What the community wants, we're going to try and provide for that." I have big plans for the system around here for Philipsburg. Starting out, and eventually, hopefully someday, we can work something out with the Drummond people and say, "Hey, this is big. We can make it big. Our community's growing. Why can't we all grow together with this?"
Everybody working together.
I would note that, speaking with the sheriff, that we have roughly 3,000 people in the county. We know that. We're talking 1,780 square miles county. But in the summer, we have in excess of 10,000. So so there's those periods of time where it's going up in terms of response and all those things. I'd like to.
This is not Reed Spiegel. This is the mayor of Philipsburg. And the city
My name is Robert Medoff. I'm the town attorney of Philipsburg.
seated is the mayor
ambulance.
of Drummond over here.
It's all right. I'd like to speak on my own behalf as town attorney, necessarily on behalf of the PVA. I'd like to echo what Dan said. This is a core responsibility of government, and I think between the county, the town, the hospital, and any other entity we can get involved, we need to find a way to potentially make this happen. In the past, that person, Jason Wingo, of the latest one that I know of, and other people before him, we don't have that today. He's putting a lot of time in, but he's also time. I've got at least a few jobs that don't let me respond 100% of the time. With that said, Matt, who also has a full-time job, has been a driver with me on,
I
believe,
think
more
this
than half of the
happens
calls
to
that have
be
come in this year.
Robert Madoff.
We need more than just a
He used to
person
be the
doing
town
this on
attorney.
a volunteer basis. I'm getting to the point that I'm living maybe half of my time in Missoula and can't respond if I'm in Missoula. So we need either go one way or another, an anchor person.
Maybe he
I'd
went to
love to
Missoula.
see that be a volunteer, but at the moment I don't see anyone stepping up who's in a position where they're capable of doing that. So that leaves a potential paid position, and I think, especially going into budget season, the money can be found between the various entities. But I think, given it's not working and we don't have an anchor person on the slate, that we need to look towards a paid position. Just like someone was saying, if a sheriff's department or a road department or public works department needed a person, they wouldn't expect that service to get done properly with solely volunteers. Let's see. In addition to that, Philipsburg volunteer, but we do cover probably a third or half of the county. So as much as yes, it's Philipsburg, we do cover. I don't know about a majority, but a good portion of our calls outside of town. And then that's about all I other than I just note that I don't believe I've gotten a call on the call list for a transport in months, which would be a good source of revenue. Could be a good source of revenue, but if we're not getting the calls, then we don't have the opportunity to go after that revenue, and I don't know what we need to do to address that. But
well, that's another hospitals not on us. Now we drop what I was doing, ambulance transport to generate money for us. I mean, that's how I know that's our.
This is cool.
Another,
What is the point of
question for
having remote viewing?
Years ago, several years ago, we talked about stipends.
Those attending remotely are
did that ever get implemented?
No, I think the only time the stipend thing ever got implemented was this latest thing when it first started. The both buildings were getting stipends. They were putting rosters together.
Oh, I guess this person is talking. Who's
to
he?
be available for that. I think that went on for 1 month and then that stopped.
Because when I
Does he have a beard or a mask? I don't know.
Potential, and we were going to put people. We had enough crew members that we were going to schedule each other. Somebody was always going to have the county covered, and that was still volunteer. But even if you were getting like $1 an hour to be on call, say I won't leave Granite County unless I take the responsibility to make sure. Let's say I'm on call. I'll make sure somebody covers that.
I can't remember what we were paying, but it was like $2 or something like that. And the money is like, gee, I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's been discussed before a lot.
And
And about increasing that to 3,500 to 5,000 for the Good Samaritan Hospital.
When we talked about upgiving stuff for a person to do the paperwork only, remember?
Yeah.
In fact, we're training my wife.
It's getting
for that,
worse.
And then we got
Look at
into
this.
the health thing. Because she actually wasn't a benefit. I think that they're on in bookkeeping, but just trying to get the run reports and stuff done so they can get turned in. And the problem with that is the EMT will do the run report or forget it. Bill in something.
It's
The billing company will send
7:17.
it.
Are
Well,
we
then
getting
somebody's
anything
gotta
out of
take
this?
that and track down whoever was on that call to get them to explain why they didn't do this, get it signed off, and then get it rebuilt again. So there's a lot to it.
Okay, you
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to circle this back and I'll pass on the proposal to you folks, and I would ask earnestly that you examine it and see what potentiality might come out of it. I think that Mr. White has done his homework on this stuff. He has a lot of practical experience, and I think it's well worth entertaining the possibility of creating this position because we've heard story after story elucidating how much work there really is. And if people aren't plugged in, they don't know. So the ambulance, they know about the ambulance, they know about the EMTs in that situation. They have no idea about the administrative oversight and the amount of time to keep things rolling and shipshape. And in terms of a stipend, I believe that Mr. White, you cover that in here as a possibility. I'd like to just take the opportunity to say, guys, for listening to us. And I really think that we need to address this on a level. And again, it goes right down to the money and finding the money. And this is a new county employee. And so we're entering the budget season, and I would like to stay up to speed with you folks in real time and figure out what the potential might be and what your motivations might be. There's, you know, if an individual reads it and says, that's not for me or not for us, I'm going to critique that and say, why not? But I want to provide the opportunity for the discussion. This is essentially what we're doing here tonight. There's something you would like to say?
Yeah, I just had a question. It was briefly mentioned, but we went on to other things because we had members of the public who needed to speak. Am I under the correct assumption that either at the federal or the state or both levels, there is a requirement that this is an operating functional system? Is that correct?
That is correct. State level.
The county's not required to have are you saying is the county required to have an ambulance? But if you're gonna have it, do it, yeah, it's gotta be done right. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. Well, the point is that we've heard, and I will speak for myself, not necessarily as a member of the council, but as a myself, I do agree with the bottom rung of the ladder analogy that this is the most basic requirement function of. However, from the other end, isn't there some kind of state requirement that says if we're going to do this, it has to be done right, it has to be functional?
That's correct. Fundamental standards stated upon state governments.
Okay,
and we
I
have
had my
licenses
hand
and our
raised. You can see
certification
that.
requirements, which says we have to meet
It's 7:20.
these standards to perform.
Okay,
But there's a lot of counties in the same boat as Granite. It's not gonna shut them down. The state should be there to help us. The state was not there with House Bill 421 and come and support us.
Yeah, and I understand.
They're very lean. It has been very lenient, knowing that we are a volunteer ambulance association, have actually granted us like a leeway and some mercy to get the licenses and stuff. And said, could you run your best, please get this done, and then they'll give us some leeway.
Well, okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to wrap this conversation up. I knew that it would be somewhat time consuming tonight, but I do appreciate the conversation. And I would take the opportunity to pass out before everyone leaves. And I would ask that you will be hearing from me personally, county commissioners here in the near term, after you take the time to go through this, and perhaps it could be an agenda item on an upcoming commission meeting, and we can maybe move this along in some capacity.
Can I just say
Yes.
to Jordan, the LPC meeting is next Thursday at 6 o'clock at the Hall School.
Is that available online?
No.
Bill,
Gotcha.
he came into this.
They've been doing it by Zoom, haven't they?
I don't know, if I can get your phone number, I'll maybe get you some.
Got off our regular, we just did. So this would be.
7:22, my hand's been raised.
Yes.
We're just cranking it back up. So,
Yes.
I want to say a couple things. If we made a county job, we'd have to advertise it. Everybody knows. And then another thing, on this 421 thing, if everybody in this room would get a hold of the governor's office or the state administration and send them an email and say that they want on the table, it's a matter of life and death.
7:23.
Which it is, because we have to wait another 2 years.
My hand's still raised, you
And then it'll be
notice.
another year before you can implement it. So you're talking 3 years, and I
It must not
guarantee you,
work.
there'll be somebody laying out someplace.
I think what the state administration committee is thinking is, or what the sponsor of the bill is thinking, then we're gonna do legislative bill, yeah.
That's what they'll say, but we want it now. And I've been trying to email people and get them to, she sent emails and stuff, but I think she's probably the only one that did it.
One thing that we've done, that we keep saying, well, the rest of the state. What we want to do is we want to find a solution to when the state says, look to Philipsburg and see what they did. So Dan, I'm advocating, looking to you, and let's find a solution to where the rest of the state says.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than say, well, the rest of the state has this problem too. I think
All right.
We're not sitting on our hands.
I'm gonna end this discussion now. Thanks for input to everyone. And we have one more issue here on our agenda. It's thoughts and input on how town and county might engage more in projects-based needs. This is essentially what we
So
covered
much for
tonight,
that one.
whether it was with RAT, PIL, the ambulance. And so,
Now we're on this one, number
unless someone
6.
has some, go ahead.
So we're always asking you, what can you do for us? Let us ask you, what can we do better for the county? Is there things that we can do that would benefit, whether it's in Drummond, plowing some roads that you guys have to come down there to do or something. I don't expect an answer from you saying, think about it. Think about what it is that Drummond could do for you guys.
Absolutely, and I concur with that totally. I think that's it. Thank you for that. We definitely can have a tendency to go to the people, but they're all essentially the same in a lot of respects. So, and I will say, in closing on the subject for myself, that I'm feeling positive about the evolution here between the towns and the county. I think it's mostly positive, and it takes some time, and we need to isolate out the present and then the near future. Is there anything else you folks would like to say?
I will commit to make that call up to Helena about HB 421.
Good, yeah.
State administration committee, you can do a search for them out there. There's a website that has all their names in the email to actually the whole committee. Okay. Yeah.
So did Mako say why we're not supporting it?
They,
What was
because
our
of use of 911 funds.
Oh, that's right.
The House bill was reviewed by the
So much for that.
legislature.
Heck with it.
There was 2017, the state was skimming some 911 funds before it even went to counties to fund university system. This is very much different than that. This is for 911.
But you can use the pill.
And they lumped us in with the counties that haven't done their mapping, and we're up to date in the mix. And so a lot of the counties, most of the counties, I watched on the legislature thing. Anyway, three-quarters of the counties done anything on their mapping. So they gotta start with all this, GPS and all over, it's gonna cost a ton of money. So they were also this legislature to skim money off the top 911 to give to all the counties to do their mapping. Well, and then in the committee meeting, when they tabled this, one person said, well, when counties start to do the mapping, they're gonna use up all their $100,000 they have. But she had no clue.
Right.
Sorry.
That's all we've done.
I will tell you that, I will stand here and make a commitment, contacting the head of Mayo, even ask for a phone conversation with that individual.
Do it.
And
Eric
that,
Bryson.
and I get it, these organizations, you need to kiss the ring, if you will, but it didn't work that way. But I'm more than happy to approach him about this and ask for some kind of rational explanation.
Well, the Mayo person that testified there, she said, when she saw the whole thing, she said, I reluctantly.
She said, I'm sorry I have to
I'm
be
sorry
here.
I have to
Right,
do
and
this.
that's their,
But she was told to,
that's their internal mechanism.
yeah.
One thing to point out with that bill is it's discretionary when counties use those 911 funds or not. They use other funds. And it's discretionary to opt into the pension to begin with, so for discretionary.
Is there any other general comments from the public at this time? Go ahead.
Mayor, I don't know if there's any data on that issue. Those calls that come in as opposed to ambulance dispatch.
I think the county has.
Yeah, I sent those to Emily.
Okay. Thank you. Jason, I heard you say this, that the hospital doesn't even call you anymore, they've given up. Is that like to transport people from the hospital to the city?
That is correct.
Okay.
They got really spoiled when I was running on the ambulance.
We're down to
Oh,
4
they
people here.
So there's a comment online. Would you like to speak up and make a?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Here, so keep it brief. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Elena. I've had my hand raised and I guess it's not working. I think I wanted to get in on the ambulance service operations. I had a question and a comment. Wasn't there a group of citizens created to study and discuss possible solutions? I thought I heard about that at one of the commissioners' meetings. And the other comment that I have
There was never there was never any formal designation of a committee or a commission. There was a group of individuals that had a discussion, an informal discussion about the background of the ambulance situation. It wasn't done in any official capacity. So at this time, there is no official committee or commission put forward by county commissioners.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't clear on
That's your
that.
question. Comment?
And the comment is as far as
There is no committee.
I'm sorry? Here's my...
Yeah, so there is no functioning or operating. Off here pretty quick.
Well, here's the other thing. You
Comment?
can use PILT funds until the next legislative session to pay or put into a pension for the emergency services. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll be having those discussions. Commissioners will definitely discussions once the budget season gets underway. So at this time, I would like to ask for scheduling location of our next meeting. Where might that be? I'm in a different room there.
And this audio
It should
is
be
horrible.
June 9th, and I'm not sure where, if it is Drummond.
Hold it somewhere where they do a better
That's where
job
we
of
wanna go, then we'll be
remote
at the library.
viewing.
I think we go counterclockwise on that.
Yeah.
And then we go to Bear Mount and we come back down.
And we, yeah, I mean, we've done things up at Georgetown. Also,
Lower Rock Creek.
I think that, in my opinion, is I think that given the conversations, we should probably go to Drummond because we may be at that point revisiting some of this that related to That's June 9th?
June 9th is what I had if we stay on track
Okay.
of the same second Wednesday in at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I would think.
At the library.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Drummond Library.
And there will be Zoom available.
Okay. And then you.
And I'll give you that information and I will send out as you did for agenda items. And we will take minutes.
So I'd like to just close by thanking everybody for coming tonight. I know this is, everybody has this staff up with meetings and that sort of thing, so I really appreciate it, and I hope that we continue to do this. And so at this time, if no one has any other comments, I would like to adjourn. A second to that motion? Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Boy, they should go and see how a real remote viewing public meeting is held. Jeez.